You're listening to the Mach 5 podcast, the podcast for geek news and culture. And here are your hosts, Jason Zimmerman and Jacob Lee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mach 5 Geek News Podcast, where each week we get you caught up on and discuss some of our favorite new headlines in movies, gaming, tech, science, and other off-the-wall topics. My name is Jason Zimmerman, and the man to my right is, of course, Jacob Lee. What is up?
I just have to do that all the time now.
This is the week of X-Men.
Except not, because it's coming out.
It's actually a week later, but it's in your head this week.
But yeah, I'm all like super pumped for X-Men, man. It's like ridiculous how excited I am for that movie right now. Despite all the terrible rumors and speculation and allegations about Bryan Singer, I'm still really excited about that movie.
What are these terrible rumors and speculation that I have missed out on?
Child sexy stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah, really bad stuff.
Oh, no.
None of it's been proven. The timing seems a little fishy for like when it got released, you know, right before his big movie.
Right.
But still, if this stuff comes out to be true, screw Bryan Singer. But people are like, just boycott the movie, and I'm like, it's X-Men though.
Right. That's difficult to do.
I know it's not. It's X-Men versus something far more serious, but not going to see that movie isn't going to negatively impact Bryan Singer in any way, shape, or form. If he gets indicted for this crap, to hell with him. He'll go off to jail. But it's like how people feel like about Roman Polanski and Woody Allen for those situations.
Right. I mean, there will be a special layer of hell reserved for him if it's all true.
Next to people who talk at the theater.
Exactly.
So,
all right. Well, before we get started and really jump into all our news topics this week, don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, you can subscribe to our show. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher Radio. Links are on our website, mach5network.com, to do that. You can find our show. Just search Mach 5 Network on iTunes and Stitcher. And you can leave us a review on iTunes. And we love you forever. We kill internet trolls with the blink of our magic geek
with my
news
Professor
wand.
X mind powers.
Yes, that too. And, we just really appreciate it. It helps us get the show out to a wider audience. It helps expose the show and the show that you guys like listening to. It helps bring us into more people's lives, and we can share the love with even more people. So if you like the show, if you have listened to all 12 episodes so far and you're digging number 13 and you're ready to get into it with us, please at least share it on social media. Let people know about us, and we are forever in your debt for that.
And we know you guys are out there because our Facebook likes are exponentially growing like each week. We're well over 700 now. And yeah, it's been an amazing ride. I think we've gotten more Facebook likes now with this podcast than we did in 86 episodes of WoW Files, which is an incredible feat. So thank you, everyone who's given us likes out there. Now just engage with us a little bit more. It'll be fun. I promise.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I promise it won't be weird. I promise I won't make it weird. Like I just did.
We won't get too creepy.
Also, I wanted to make a mention. I've been putting up a lot of stuff on YouTube. You can also find our podcast on YouTube now as well. So if for whatever reason there's no like animations or anything, but for whatever reason, if you have easier access to YouTube than you do like your iTunes account or Stitcher Radio, which I know both of those are pretty much predominantly housed in other programs, not browsers. So if you happen to just stop by YouTube, give us a like and subscribe there. I've also put up, I think, 6 Let's Plays of the new game Bound by Flame, which I happen to really like. I've really been enjoying my time with it. So I put up those there, and we've got more content coming on a regular basis over there. So we have some big plans as far as like daily news shows and stuff like that coming in the future. But the daily news show is probably about a month off, ideally. And but yeah, I'm doing the Let's Plays now with some PS4 games, and actually, it's getting less and less awkward to talk to air. So
nice,
it's actually becoming kind of nice to do.
Yeah, as time and resources allow, you guys are going to see us producing more and more types of content. So that's really exciting to look forward to on the horizon out there. This week, typically right now, we would get into sweeping the nation with our listener of the week. We've had a very quiet week on the listener horizon. Not a lot of engagement from any new people. We have our guys like Andrew and Jim, who are, our number one and number two listener. Actually, one
Andrew,
and
Jim,
number one.
And Philip. The three of them.
And Philip, yeah.
The three amigos. So let's just give the listener of the week to those three guys again, because they're great.
Boom, boom. They are great. But if you would like to, one of the perks of being listener of the week when you engage with us and talk to us and we get to know you a little bit is you can join our flip book where we post a lot of news topics. We flip things that we find in there.
Flip book.
Yes, our flip board.
Some 80s, presentation thing. It's Flipboard. It's an app on your Android and iOS devices. It's really cool.
It's not the little flip book animations I used to draw of a guy jumping into a pool with a shark when I was a kid. No,
nope, definitely not.
Oh, okay. Yes, Flipboard. Get the Flipboard. Flip articles on Flipboard. And doing that, we've got these guys are doing it, and by doing that, you can basically help shape the way this show goes and things that you're interested in. If we also think, that's a cool topic to talk about, we'll add it to the show, and you can contribute to the content of the show. And it's a win-win all around.
You credit for it. So when we announce new topics, like our very first topic of the show was flipped by Kaiju Jim. So, we're giving him credit for every article that we picked that he shared with us. Similarly with Andrew K. and Philip C. So you really want to be one of those listeners of the week. If you want to share cool articles with us and get your name shout outed out there as well.
Shouted outed. Yes.
Shouted outed. What?
And we're going to give a shout out right now to, on Twitter, Sorcerer at Sorcerer Blog, who gave us some Twitter love.
With a U?
Yes, like the word source, SOURCERER, Sorcerer Blog. Gave us some tweet love. So we just want to say, check out, for some good geek stuff, check out Sorcerer Blog and give him a follow. All right, now let's get into some news topics. First up, Off the Grid. All right, Off the Grid topics right now. Our first article here, flipped on Flipboard by Kaiju Jim. The UN is to debate killer robots. That is right. The United Nations Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, also known as the Inhumane Weapons Convention, is about to take the first small step toward an international ban on killer robots. To which the killer robots replied,
"Take a stress pill and think things over."
Oh, that made me laugh. Yes, activists have been agitating for years for a preliminary ban on fully autonomous lethal weapons, which the U.S. Defense Department defines as weapons that, once activated, can select and engage targets without further intervention by a human operator. That includes drones that drop bombs automatically when they reach their targets. So there you go. We have an actual discussion on killer robots. This has been a 4-day meeting of experts in Geneva to discuss this. So there you go.
And Jim also decided to taunt me based on my comments from last week about me switching sides. He's like, "I'm sorry, it's not going to happen now." So yes, I will not be able to be the Benedict Arnold of the robot wars. It's not going to be able to happen. Sad.
No, it's not going to be able to happen.
No, it's good for like the stuff for the technology that we have now. Like if we have drones that are automatically deciding to drop bombs like as soon as they reach a target without a fail-safe button, that's just dumb. We shouldn't have that stuff.
No, there's no reason for that, definitely. Next up, flipped by Andrew K. Here is why Godzilla always wins. Well, this was on the mysteriousuniverse.org site, and representatives of the U.S. Air Force's 18th Wing recently gave a delightful mock interview on whether the military could take down Godzilla, and both agreed they probably could, though they'd be in for a tough fight. But could they? As Michael A. Dexter points out, science wouldn't be able to explain the survival and behavior of a real-life Godzilla. Its very existence would be a brute fact that would contradict everything we currently know about physics and biology, so it's futile to try and calculate whether its hide could survive a missile attack and all of that sort of thing, and whether it would be vulnerable not to chemical weapons, and that our best calculations would become useless as soon as it took 2 steps out of the ocean without falling over, and that's kind of the point. So, in other words, there are dramatic reasons why any military attack on Godzilla would be doomed to failure, so they're trying to figure out why Godzilla always wins here.
2 words: atomic breath. Like that's like the ultimate Godzilla win button. Whenever he was in dire straits, it was like atomic breath, like boom. All I gotta say is I'm going to see Godzilla tonight, the new 2014 Godzilla film, not that terrible movie that was called Godzilla, which really should have just been called Really Big Iguana, starring Matthew Broderick. If Godzilla does not have atomic breath in this new film, I'm going to be a little sad.
Ooh.
I hope he just straight up, like out of nowhere, like those people who don't know he has that power are going to go or think it's really dumb in the theater. But I really want them to him just to launch out a giant atomic breath. Like that would be awesome. His win button.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the Godzilla win button right there. Next up here, did you know Dementor wasps are real? Say what? Here in this article, it seems that life is imitating art in the worst possible way, because this week scientists discovered a brand new type of wasp, and they named it after the Dementors from Harry Potter. It sounds pretty cool until you realize that the wasp can suck out your soul and turn you into a brainless zombie, and they call it the Dementor wasp. A new paper by Michael Ohl this looks like this is called PLOS 1, discusses the newly named wasp. It's native to Thailand. The Berlin Natural History Museum put the name up to vote for visitors, and the masses settled on Ampulex dementor, and it's pretty fitting. The wasp kills its insect victims by delivering toxic stings directly to their head, injecting their brain with a neurotoxin that makes the victim completely submissive to the wasp's will. The wasp then leads their new zombie friend back to the wasp lair, at which point the wasp lays eggs inside the insect victim. The eggs feed off the insect's carcass until they hatch. So there you go. It will get into your brain and then lay its eggs inside your dead body.
I know I shared this article, but I don't even want to talk about it. It's too scary for me. I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs. I especially don't like flying bugs. It's just something about I don't like it. Now they got ones that can turn you into zombies. I don't like it.
At least right now they're only turning insects into zombies, not humans. Once
the next thing you know, The Last of Us, like, they're going to turn us into zombies. It's not going to be plants. It's not going to be weird rabies bite type things. It's not going to be Walking Dead type stuff. It's going to be straight up, we're going to be turned into bee zombies, and the bees are going to grow like 20 feet tall. Ooh, don't like it.
Don't want to think about that at all.
No, it's giving me nightmares just thinking about it right now.
Pretty much. All right. And next up here in Off the Grid news, finding love on the internet has gotten more and more prevalent over the years. You lead a busy life. You got to meet somebody. We have dating sites. We have all that sort of thing. It all works great. Well, here we have an article where a man tries to find love on Facebook and is rejected by, count them, 5,000 women. This poor guy cannot catch a break. His name is Predrag Jovanovic. He is a single man from Serbia. He's trying to find love online. The man just wants to find love. He has not gotten a single positive response. This 34-year-old, he went to Facebook looking for a soulmate, and he sent individual messages to 5,000 different women asking if they would consider being his girlfriend. Unfortunately, none of the responses were favorable. He said, I only got 15 responses, and they were all negative. All 15 politely refused to be my girlfriend, while the rest of them simply ignored me. When someone ignores you, that's the worst thing of all. A sad tale of a guy being very creepy, asking women on Facebook to be his girlfriend.
I was gonna say, first wrong move there, bro. I mean, I know I'm single, but here I'm gonna teach you a little something, bro.
All right, do it.
All right, you don't walk up to okay. So let's treat the internet as if it was a grocery store, right?
Okay. Yes.
You see.
Should we role play here?
Yeah, we see. No. That would get too intimate, Jason. I can't. Okay. I can't let myself go down that route with you. It would just make things too complicated. You see attractive woman, walking in the grocery store or whatever. the first words out of your mouth should not be, in fact, these words should not come out of your mouth at all during this conversation. Will you be my girlfriend?
Right. She doesn't even know you.
She doesn't know you, bro. She's got to get to know you first. You got to demonstrate some level of higher value.
I want to know if he honestly, in his mind and in his heart, believed someone would be like, yeah, that's cool. I'll be your girlfriend. Like,
if so, I would be worried about that person killing me in my sleep.
Right. I don't know. See, I don't know how it is for women on Facebook if you get random messages from dudes like, hey, like your picture. I'm guessing it happens because guys are stupid.
I look at it every night before I go to sleep.
Right.
I really like
creepy.
it.
Like, yeah, very creepy. So why would any woman in their right mind respond to you favorably, guy? Let's get serious here.
Let's get real, son.
Yeah, let's get real. You gotta learn from that lesson, and you gotta get on SerbianMatch.com or something and get to know somebody first.
Seriously.
That's your best bet. All right, next. That's off the grid. We're gonna jump into video games now. It's time for Virtual Insanity. All right, Virtual Insanity, where we talk video game news, and right off the bat, Sony's selling all their shares of Square Enix. So, you might be wondering, Sony, why did you sell all of your squares of Share Enix? Why did you, wow.
So many S's, I don't know
So
what to
many
do.
S's in one little place. I had kind of a senior moment there. Sony, why did you sell all of your shares? How many shares of Square can Sony Share Square sell?
Yeah, you all got that, right?
You got that. So according to Square Enix producer Shinji Hashimoto, who explained at Thailand's Comic-Con that from the start, the entire process had been about the two companies helping each other out. Back in 2001, Square Enix had financial problems, and Sony bought our stocks, he explained. Now the situation is reversed. Since then, we have had good support from our customers for our products, so Square Enix is back on its legs. But Sony has declined. The presidents of both companies had negotiations and resulted, as everyone knew, we did not have any argument. Since Sony once helped us out, it was time we helped Sony back. So Sony apparently needs a little money now. They sold their shares, and it was just part of the business agreement. No bad blood, nothing like that. Just regular business.
Japanese people doing cool things for Japanese people.
What else could you ask for?
It's like harmony.
And also in Sony news, Sony's CEO and executives taking 50% pay cut and losing bonuses. Ex-PlayStation chief and current CEO and president of Sony, Kaz Hirai. Okay, very good. is preparing to take a 50% pay cut while declining his annual bonus, according to the Wall Street Journal. And other unnamed high-level Sony executives will follow suit in a sign of solidarity with their struggling company, which will post an annual loss for the fourth time in 5 years. This comes on the heels of bad financial news for Sony. So they revealed that it is expected to post a $1.27 billion loss for the 2013 fiscal year. That is a big loss, Sony. I like Sony. I kind of feel bad for them.
It's a big loss, but usually in these years where they come out with new consoles and whatnot, because of the development and all the costs that they incur from the early stages of that development of the console, they were already projecting a loss. This loss just happened to be about 10 to 15% bigger than they were expecting. So
apparently they were projecting a $489 million profit in 2013. That didn't happen. But you know what? It's nice to see that the executives right off the bat taking the pay cut and turning down the bonuses. You don't see that often, where typically you have a CEO of a company making 10, 20 million a year, whatever they make. These guys get paid ridiculous sums of cash. And who ultimately always gets hurt in that? It's the lower level workers. So it's nice to see the CEO stepping up and being like, look, we're not making money. I don't deserve to make all this money. I'm going to take a pay cut. So good job out of them.
that's cool. And the other cool thing about it too is that they're not just getting axed by their boards of directors. Because if that crap happened
Right.
in the United States, even though you were like kind of planning on something like that, they would axe you. Even if they knew that that was part of the plan and that the next few years were going to be better, they wouldn't, have the patience to stick with somebody. So that's another cool thing about Sony and Japanese business in general.
Yeah, I mean, different culture, different way of doing things, so
Yep.
I like it. All right, Microsoft retailing a new $400 Xbox One that will be packaged without Kinect. They have announced that they are going to drop the price from $500 to $400, and they're going to drop Kinect from the box as well. Starting June 9th, the Xbox One will be sold in this second bundle minus the Kinect. A standalone version of the Kinect will be available this fall if you would like to add it later on. The premium bundle with Kinect packed in with the Xbox One will stick around after that. Though it's clear Microsoft made today's move because of sales numbers. Though the Xbox One is doing fairly well at around 5 million units, it is lagging behind Sony's PlayStation 4 by several million units. So they're going to do a price drop in hopes of increasing sales.
And I think that's a smart move for Microsoft. I really do. Having had spent some time with that Kinect, it's pretty much worthless. Unless you want to Skype with somebody from your couch, which, if that's a thing you like to do, more power to you. But in terms of voice commands, I found it incredibly annoying. Just like I find the voice commands on the PS4 incredibly annoying. Like neither of them work very well. To me, it was just one of those things that they were just trying to push just to be different, and it doesn't work.
It did not appeal to the customers.
It doesn't work. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, the first Kinect was horrendous.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
And this Kinect, while better, is still horrendous. Like, it's just a better version of horrendous. So, yeah, it's a smart move for them because I think most people don't give a crap about the Kinect. They want their Xbox to stream content well and play games well.
Right.
So
that's the core of it, And next in video game news, Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition is getting its release date now here on consoles. Blizzard has officially confirmed it will be released on the PS4, Xbox One, PS3, and Xbox 360 on August 19th. The Ultimate Evil Edition bundles together with the original Diablo 3 with its Reaper of Souls expansion, and crucially, will allow you to transfer your PS3 or Xbox 360 character to PS4 or Xbox One respectively, so you can continue your progress without losing anything. I think that's a nice little feature.
Definitely.
Other features: local co-op for up to 4 players, online multiplayer, and apprentice mode to boost a low-level player's strength when loot hunting with higher-level friends. So there you go.
Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls has been very, very good on PC. So much better than the original iteration. And yeah, I really like the console version. The console version was great. I played it through, all the way through Inferno, and now that there's none of that Inferno business, you can just turn it on like the most difficulty levels. I'm really, really excited about it because I like to play my melee characters more on console with a controller than I do on the PC with a mouse clicky thing. But I like to play my ranged characters with the mouse clicky thing. So,
interesting.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna have 2 copies of 2 different versions of Diablo 3. But yeah, I'm really super excited. I've been looking forward to this ever since they announced that it was coming out for PS4.
Awesome. One of these days, I'm gonna get back to playing a little bit of Diablo. One of these days, but Hearthstone, it's ruining me right now for life.
Yep, does that? It does that.
Such an addiction. All right, so that was our video game news. Now let's talk a little video game review and about some of the upcoming games.
All right, so Bound by Flame is a game that I've been playing for a little while here. I have been putting up a Let's Play series on YouTube of Bound by Flame. What it is, it's a action-based RPG that's kind of like a cross between Dark Souls and Kingdoms of Amalur. are the two games that it seems to draw most of its inspiration from in terms of the story and the tone and all of that. It's not the best game in the world, I'll admit that, but it's a game that, as a lover of hack and slash RPGs, now it's not as fast as Amalur, like it doesn't have that crazy whip action, like very, very close to God of War style. It's a little more slow, it's a little more methodical, it's kind of challenging. Like when you level up, you don't just go balls to the wall, get ridiculously more powerful. It's very incremental on how much more powerful you get. There's actually not even, as far as I can tell, I think I'm like level 13 or 14 right now. Every time you level, your hit points don't even increase. It's you can get talents that you can put points into that increase your hit points, but it's not like your hit points are increasing every level and your power. So what it's doing is it's actually increasing your ability to interrupt and some other things. So it's making you feel more powerful, but in that smaller, nuanced kind of way, instead of that like, now I am mega overpowered, which can be a downside for some players. But I found the leveling system very rewarding because you level very quickly too. The game world seems pretty big. There's a lot of side quests. There's a lot of character customization options. There's talent trees. There's unlockable feats, which are also little perks for your characters. There's a lot of cool things here in this game, but it kind of suffers from a few things. That some of the voice acting is downright horrible. Some of it's great. Some of it's, we need to go over there and find that monster right now. And then some of it's like Skyrim level, like I can't replicate it, And I'm just sitting there wondering, like, who the heck cast the vocal talent for this? Because they probably were, in the midst of schizophrenia while they were casting all. Like, this person sounds great and this person sounds terrible, but they sound great. Like, it's weird. And just generally, you can tell it's a little bit low budget, but it came out at a price tag of $40 for PS3, PC, and Xbox 360, and $50 for PS4. But it's actually, there's a sale going on right now at Best Buy. If you get there before Sunday, you can get, if you purchase this game, you'll get $10 gift card as well. So that's pretty nice too.
Nice little bonus, yeah.
Yeah. So it's I've been having a lot of fun with it. I put up my Let's Plays. I'm not super good at doing Let's Plays yet on YouTube, but I'm having fun with it, and kind of working through all of my sound issues and all of that type of stuff. But if you like Let's Plays and you like these types of RPGs, check us out there. I'm actually going to start working on some quick card battles with different decks that I'm trying out for Hearthstone as well. So I'm going to be putting up some Let's Plays on YouTube there for that as well. If I had to give Bound by Flame a score today, which I don't believe I'm far enough into the game to honestly do it, I would give it between a 3.5 and 4.
Out of 5.
Out of 5. Not out of 10. Out of 5. So it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10 game.
Okay, so it's still relatively good then.
Yeah, I mean, I've been having a very, very good time with it because it is my type of game, right? Like, it's the type of game that I like, one of my favorite genres. So
Right. Nice. I think with the Hearthstone, did you mention to me something about we should be like playing Hearthstone and recording it? I think we need like
like a quick
listeners versus us Hearthstone battle. And us versus each other Hearthstone battles.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We need to start doing
record each other on Skype and put up some Hearthstone videos, like three match tournaments between the two of us.
Right.
Or our
talking
listeners
trash.
who also play Hearthstone. Yeah,
right.
Talking trash. Warning, I talk a lot of trash. A lot of smack. So upcoming games this week for March 20th, we have on multi-platform, we have Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is the brand new Wolfenstein that comes with the beta access code for the new Doom game, as well as Drakengard 3 for the PS3 and Mugen Souls Z for the PS3, 2 Japanese RPG type games that I have no knowledge about. But the big one, of course, is Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is kind of this weird alternate universe steampunky version of Wolfenstein, which looks pretty good. The early reviews are looking pretty positive, not glowing and amazing, but at least kind of positive thus far.
That's good. That's an interesting world for them to take it in. I guess they have to do something different with Wolfenstein by now.
Yeah. No more charging the castle.
Right.
It's the Wolfenstein was the first. It was the first person shooter.
Wow.
So Wolfenstein 3D, first person shooter. Everyone thinks that it was Doom, but it was actually Wolfenstein. I'm pretty sure of that.
That's interesting. I used to play the old Castle Wolfenstein game before it was a shooter, when it was just like, I don't even remember what it was. It was low tech, that's for sure.
A pen and paper RPG.
No, it was like little like 2D guys that you had to kind of shoot and stuff. God, I don't know if that was for my Apple. That might have been my Apple IIe I had that for.
Wow.
That's back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yes, before 3D was a thing. So that's what we got coming up. And that's all in Virtual Insanity this week. Now we're going to talk movies and TV. It is time for Picture Show. All right, first up in Picture Show news, Ben Affleck's Batsuit has been revealed, to which the Joker immediately replied,
Well, hello, beautiful.
Yes, we have a first look at what the suit will look like. It's pretty ripped. I feel like it's in this picture very all sort of one note, not a lot of, to me, detailed things. Kind of like a very muscular rubber suit with really short ears on the mask. But overall, I think it's going to look really awesome paired with what they did with Man of Steel and Superman's look. Overall, I like it. Of course, I'm the Christian Bale Batman fan. You got me, but this is going to look pretty awesome too.
I really like it. I'm not going to say I like it more than the Christian Bale Batman suit until I see it in action. But I will say this about it. Ben Affleck looks like he could whoop your butt as Batman. He is a big dude. And
Yes,
Christian Bale was always kind of skinny, right? And he looked kind of beefy in that suit, but you could tell the suit was kind of the thing that was making him look a little bit bigger and bulkier. Ben Affleck, there's nothing hiding the muscles here. Like, he's gonna beat you down. Like, he's an imposing figure in that. The costume's clearly inspired by Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, with the short stubby ears and the big bat symbol on the chest, the big fat bat symbol on the chest.
Right.
We don't know what the colors are really going to look like. Someone actually posted a colorized version of it that had it blue, yellow, and gray, like the traditional Batman suit. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, that would definitely be interesting. That would be something we haven't seen yet on the big screen, except for with Adam West.
Right.
I hope it doesn't go that route. I hope it just goes like muted grays and blacks, like
Right.
Batman it traditionally has been lately in the film screen. But the bigger thing I want to talk about here, even more so than the bat suit, is the Batmobile. Looks awesome.
It does.
Looks awesome. It's like half Tumbler, half Batmobile from the original Batman, the Tim Burton Batman.
From the Michael. Yeah.
It's got that same like slidey type roof entrance thing, like the Tim Burton Batmobile, like with the little visor type windshield. Looks great. It looks like the marriage made in heaven. Because while I liked the Tumbler, the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, yeah, it's cool, but that's not the Batmobile. And it never really was the Batmobile for me. And at the end,
no, it wasn't.
At the end of The Dark Knight, when he takes off in the Lamborghini to kind of stop the Joker from doing something, I forget what it was, or to stop people from killing that one guy at the end of The Dark Knight, and gets in the wreck in the Lamborghini, I was kind of like, okay, cool. Like the next movie, he's actually going to have a Batmobile that's actually a car, because now he's in a car, and then they didn't do that. So I'm really excited that it's kind of like, it's like a big, mean, hulking dune buggy drag racer is what it looks like to me. And it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice to have a true Batmobile back. So yeah, it looks really, really good. So it makes me excited. I have not been down on Ben Affleck as Batman. these shots of the Batmobile and the Batsuit are very, very awesome. So I'm still excited for that. Next up, yes, it's true, ladies and gentlemen, Channing Tatum confirmed as Gambit. Hollywood Reporter has gotten some specifics about the story, but according to the trade sources, Channing Tatum's Gambit will debut in the next X-Men film, Apocalypse, but the plan is for the character to then get a standalone spin-off of his own, and that movie does not have a director at this time. However, it appears to be pretty early in the process. Channing Tatum,
I have no clue who I would want to be Gambit. I don't know.
But you feel that it would not be Channing Tatum.
I like Channing Tatum. I think he's good in comedy roles, but I would not want it to be Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through a mental list. Like, I didn't think Taylor Kitsch was terrible as Gambit in that terrible X-Men Origins Wolverine film. But he wasn't given a whole lot to do. He was in the movie for like 5 minutes. So I could have seen him, but he kind of became Hollywood poison between all the movies he was like kind of leading in that bombed, like John Carter and X-Men, and then Battleship as well. Like, he kind of hit the like 3 chances and you're out strike with being a Hollywood leading man.
Right.
So I really don't know who could honestly play Gambit. This is going to be kind of off the wall because he's not a brunette and Gambit is. Actually, he could be. No, I'm pretty sure he's not because he's Swedish. Alexander Skarsgård from True Blood. Yeah, Eric. I could see him doing it. He's got that kind of physique and that lanky, tall type of physique. If you put a long brown wig on him and some facial hair and make his eyes all glowy pink and stuff, like, yeah, I can see him as Gambit. I don't know how well he could do a Cajun accent because he doesn't do one in the show True Blood, but that doesn't fit with his character. I don't know how well he could do an accent like that, but I don't think Channing Tatum could do a good accent like that either.
But hey, Channing Tatum has a restaurant in New Orleans.
Does he? So
yes, he does. Maybe he can do it. I was at his restaurant when I was down
Gambit there. Too. Gambit's not a hulky looking guy.
Yeah, Channing Tatum is more stocky.
Like, he's built. I'm not saying that Gambit can't have muscles. I'm just saying that he's not supposed to have like a 48 shoulder width and like really ultra bulky.
Yeah.
So whatever. Whatever. I hope the new X-Men's great. I hope that Channing Tatum's great as Gambit. I mean, I like Channing Tatum. He seems like a really nice guy too. It's just, I guess because I don't have anyone else better, I can't really complain about this too much.
There you go. More Marvel news here. Marvel is approaching the Daredevil Netflix series like a large movie. They say here, one of the advantages of Netflix is from the planning stage. It's much easier to work with a smaller number of episodes than it is with a large number of episodes. We can sit there and look at 13 episodes and plan it out as a very large movie. It makes seeing the bigger picture a little bit easier. You cannot deny that there will be binge viewing. You know that there are going to be some Marvel fans that when the show premieres, they're going to go on Netflix and they're going to sit there for 12 to 13 plus hours and watch the entire thing all the way through. The Netflix model offers us the advantage of being able to construct the show in a manner that is very different than a weekly network TV show. Even the way that you parse out information and reveals within the show can be different than you would on a weekly TV show. With weekly TV, you just sit there and go, the audience may not want to wait 2 or 3 weeks to get this particular bit of information. Whereas with Netflix, we might be able to hold on to a particular piece of information because they may just watch it 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So that's how they're looking at this Daredevil show on Netflix.
Yeah, so I put this story in here for you because I know you love Daredevil.
I do like Daredevil.
And yeah, I really like the Netflix model, honestly. I've been watching House of Cards. I'm like 3.5 episodes until I finish the entire run, the 2-season run that they've had of House of Cards thus far. But I really like that they just go ahead and put up like all the episodes.
Yes.
Instead of making you wait. That. Like sometimes I really wish I could do that with Walking Dead. Like I have to watch it week to week. I have to watch Game of Thrones week to week, Like I have to watch it each
Yeah.
week. I can't wait. I can't like wait 10 weeks and then binge watch it. I have to watch it as it's live. But
Right.
if they just give it to me live, I prefer it that way so much more because it's really frustrating sometimes when you have those really slow episodes of Walking Dead, which is a phenomenal show. But you have a couple really slow episodes and you're like, come on. Like I've been sticking with this for a month now. Whereas if you were to watch it, back to back, let's say you were to binge watch it, right? You get through those 2 slow episodes and it's fine because you haven't had to wait a month or almost half a month or a little over half a month for an exciting episode. You wait a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
Or a day. It makes things much more palpable than when you have a slow season stretch. Like I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which really this season has closed on a really, really strong note, starting with what happens at the end of Captain America 2 on, that is reflected in that show. Also by the power of Bill Paxton. But like the first, 18 episodes or so of that show were really slow, like really, really slow.
Yeah.
But I think that if you could binge watch them without commercials, you wouldn't have felt as bad about it. Right. I know it lost a lot of viewership because people weren't willing to watch it every week. Right. They're like, well, forget it. Maybe I'll watch it when it's on Netflix or something, or when it's all up on Hulu, but I'm not going to watch it now.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing that Netflix has done with that is just, it's kind of spoiling us now at this point. Well, actually, not even Netflix. Actually, when shows started coming out on DVD, and that got really big over the last 5 or so years, where people would go to the store. I remember back when I worked at Blockbuster when a season of, I forget what season it was, of 24 was coming out.
Yeah.
Like people were coming in and just grabbing every disc of 24 they could to binge watch it and that sort of thing. There's just something really nice about the binge watching where, those cliffhangers come and you're like, my God, I have to see the next episode. Right. Every week when Game of Thrones ends, I am so depressed that I have to now just like go to bed.
Me too.
And I can't watch another episode.
Me too. And then you're sad, but the downside to that is then that you're really sad when it's over and you're like, I have to wait a year.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's brutal. I know it's only 10 episodes. It's so sad. But also with Daredevil here, in the same interview, they asked Marvel's chief creative officer, Joe Quesada, more about Daredevil, and if this was about the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, and if the negative reaction to that film will affect their approach to the show. And he said, let me be clear, we're not going into the show with the idea of trying to erase the memory of anything that came before or any preconceived notions whatsoever. We're going into the show trying to create something that's incredibly exciting, incredibly engaging, and will give our fans something that they love, something that's unexpected, something that's going to keep them coming back for more. That's really ultimately the goal of this. How do we produce a Daredevil TV show on Netflix that's going to be viewed the way that people view content on Netflix, in a way that's going to be compelling, feels unique, and while bringing something that is not only true to the character, but providing something unexpected as well.
Here's another thing I want to bring up just while we're talking about comic book TV series.
Yeah.
They just released the new 5-minute trailer for the Flash TV series.
Okay.
And it looks every bit as good as Arrow, with a completely kind of different vibe, because now you got guys with superpowers, like villains like Weather Wizard and Killer Frost. And then you have a dude who can run around at like light speed, basically.
Yeah.
So it's got a very different vibe than Arrow, but they're apparently, they're doing crossovers. Like the backdoor pilot for the Flash was a 2 episode run on Arrow. And like in the trailer, like him and Oliver Queen have conversations, and it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
Wondering,
like the trailer looks really, really good.
That's see, I was thinking about it going, I could probably just start watching Flash, but do I need to watch Arrow first? Is there going to be crossover? I really want to watch Arrow. I have so many shows to watch.
You need to watch Arrow, like all of it. Like it just ended season 2. You need to watch all of Arrow. It's so good. It's ridiculous.
Is that how many episodes a season? Like
23.
24? Yeah.
It's so good. But yeah, like here, someone posted a picture online of Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, and then posted like photoshopped in that same black and white photo, like of Ben Affleck as Batman. Also photoshopped Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, in there too, and it looks perfect. It fits so well, and I'm like, and you know the DC people have come out and said, you know, that we're not going to do anything with those shows. You know, like we're not going to incorporate them in the. I think that's a huge mistake.
Yeah,
I really do. Like the way the Flash TV show is looking, and the way the Green Arrow TV show's already got like this really big following. Why not, you know, bring both of them? You don't have to establish anything new about the mythos. Those shows are doing it for you, and it's drawing viewership to your movie, you know, even more so and more excitement because people love those incarnations of those characters. They love them.
Yep.
And the tone and everything is exactly like how the tone in like Man of Steel is. In the tone like in some of the Nolan stuff, but a little more comic booky, you know, like Man of Steel. It's that same tone, so it fits perfectly too. So it blows my mind that they're not, you know, just collapsing those worlds, because I look at it like, well, then, you know, in between Batman versus Superman and in between Batman versus Superman leading up to the Justice League movie, you've got all this other DC content to tide you over until then, right? You're not just like building up your hopes for one thing while just waiting. And you're like looking forward to seeing Barry and Oliver hero out with, you know, these other bigger superheroes, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the slippery slope would then be like, why doesn't Bruce Wayne come and help? Why doesn't Superman come and help in the TV show? You know, they do that stuff in Marvel movies too. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. It happens all the time in the comics too.
Right, exactly.
But it boggles my mind that they're not even considering that.
Right. Yeah.
Because you know Marvel's doing it.
Yes.
Like we don't know if we're going to see Daredevil and Iron Fist and what's her name, Jessica Jones. Why am I blanking on her name? Luke Cage and then Jessica whatever.
Oh.
We don't know if we're going to see them in a Marvel cinematic movie, but we know they're part of the universe, and they're not saying we're not going to put them in there. To them, this is their Daredevil for their universe, you know, just like their Luke Cage for this universe will be the one that's on the Netflix show. So it actually matters, you know?
Yeah.
So why not? I mean, if reception on them was lukewarm, I understand, but it's not. It's really ecstatic. So why not just synergize, you know?
Yeah. I hear you. All right. Well, let's get to from Marvel to Star Wars. Wedge Antilles will not make an appearance in Star Wars Episode 7. While we did have announcements that we will have Han, Luke, Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, all of our favorite classic characters, we will not have Wedge. According to The Courier, actor Dennis Lawson, who played Wedge in the original film, said he has chosen not to appear in Episode 7, and when asked, he said, "I'm not going to do that. They asked me, but it just would have bored me." And he indicated a few months ago that he'd only return to the role if it was bigger than the original films. So there you go. It would have just bored him. He was too bored to be Wedge again.
That's so sad.
I mean,
Wedge really was a guy, right? But
tiny
like, people
character.
Loved Wedge. For whatever reason, Wedge had this like cult following. So I think having Wedge back in the film would be really great. Also, I think Philip C. Posted a response to my like, why isn't Billy D back in? Why isn't Lando back in Star Wars? And he reported like a suggestion, like make it all hush hush. Although I don't know how you do that with a Star Wars movie. Like, how do you keep anything hush hush on that? But like halfway through the movie, Han's in trouble and and Lando comes flying in with the Millennium Falcon and saves his butt. Like, and nobody knew it was coming. That would be so awesome.
No, I don't think it would actually.
Why not?
To me, that would just feel. It would feel cheesy to me.
You loved
It
a
really
certain
would.
cameo in the Lego movie.
It was
you
the
not?
Lego movie.
Did you not?
In the Lego movie, it was great.
The Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn is gonna come back and kill you, Jason.
In the Lego movie is one thing. In this, no. I think it's like, come on. It's getting cheesy at this point. We don't know.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
You know, here's the thing. Lando, as a kid, one of my favorite characters.
Watch
love
yourself.
Lando. Still love Lando.
Watch yourself.
I could watch Empire and Jedi and love Lando all day long. Don't need to see him in the new ones. I don't.
He's part of the core. He's a general in the Rebel Alliance, man.
He is, but he can have a small role that doesn't involve him swooping in to save Han in the Millennium Falcon. That just feels it's one of those scenes where it you throw into a movie just to pay homage to the previous movies and just to bring back that nostalgic feeling. And that's all that does. It doesn't. I don't think it helps this movie out in any way, shape, or form. That's why I don't want to see it. I don't think it adds anything but just a warm, fuzzy feeling that it doesn't necessarily need.
I have one thing to say to you, Jason.
Yes.
You've lost that love and feeling. And now it's gone.
I don't want it to see. I don't want them to get too cheesy with this movie. I really want this to be a very strong, solid Star Wars movie.
I just want more.
George
Han
Lucas
and
got my
Lando.
Agent Orange acting up.
I just want more Han and Lando, Goose and Maverick moments, man.
We had those.
Talk
They're
to
not
me,
going to be
Lando.
as good
Talk to
in
me,
their
Lando.
70s.
Maybe
It's just not the same when they're old. It's just not the same.
it could be
That's
though.
that's my take.
It could be Space Cowboys awesome.
It could be, but it might not be. All right. So, I forgot to mention, but that article on Wedge was flipped by Kaiju Jim, and he also flipped another article here. Unfortunately, the video has been taken down. Apparently, somebody posted this on Vimeo where they took Star Wars Episode 1 through 3, edited it into one 3-hour movie, and apparently people thought it was good, but it's been removed. Probably copyright infringement.
It is.
We may
good.
never.
I've seen it.
Oh, you did?
It is good. I mean, it's not. It's not episodes 4 through 6 good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing about it is literally it starts. Okay, so the text crawl, the traditional Star Wars text crawl,
Yeah.
explains everything about the Phantom Menace, and the opening scene is the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul. And then from there, like that's like the prologue of the film. Like the crawl, the lightsaber battle with Darth Maul, Qui-Gon gets taken out. There is no dumb like Darth Maul just taunting him with the like lightsaber, like just waving it
Yeah.
back and forth for 10 minutes for no reason. They cut that out, but he still does, force grab it and flip up. I mean, that just happens in the span of 10 seconds after he falls down there, which makes it much cooler. And then from that point on, it's like, okay, now Obi-Wan, you're going to train Anakin, and you never see Kid Anakin. And then it just goes on to, like a half chopped version of Attack of the Clones, and then a half chopped version of Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Nice.
It's I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not anywhere close to the other ones, but it's so much better. It makes the whole trilogy actually, I don't want to say watchable because I've watched them plenty of times, but it
Right.
takes all the cheese out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing it can't fix is Hayden Christensen, but
No.
but it fixes a lot of problems, and it's like a 2 hour and 40-some minute epic that's really, really quite good.
Maybe it'll show up again in some nefarious torrent channels somewhere.
Well,
but
you know that George Lucas like has probably even burned the original copies of the original Star Wars films without the no and the weird blinking Ewoks and all that stuff.
yeah,
He's probably destroyed all those. So I really wish they would just re-release on Blu-ray. He won't do it, so I gotta wait till he's dead. I hate saying that. I gotta wait till George Lucas is dead to get Star Wars on Blu-ray the original way it was. No, not the re-release in the 90s.
Right.
Like the OG theatrical experience of Star Wars. That's what I want. That's what everybody wants, right?
Right.
No weird like dance sequence in Jabba's palace with weird music and CGI. That was
No Han stepping on Jabba's tail.
no.
Nobody wants that.
No Greedo shooting first.
Right.
Like, come on, man. I mean, that's the biggest one, right? But visually, that's the one that doesn't really mean that much to me. Like, it's good for the character, but it doesn't like blow up the film that Greedo shot first. But some like the Return of the Jedi actually was probably my favorite Star Wars film growing up, even more so than Empire. But that scene that they added in the 90s with the weird like cantina music thing with that weird singing alien and like that was so and that one dude like I was like what
yeah, I know.
I mean,
Yeah, it added nothing.
how did George watch that and go, yeah, that's good, I like that? I mean, that's something I would expect from Shatner to like put into a movie. He's like, yeah, let's make Uhura in her 70s dance and let's put this three-boobied kitty lady in a movie. Like, that's the kind of crap I think Shatner does in his free time. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something happened to him as he got older. I don't know.
I still like William Shatner. He's a jerk, but
No, well, I mean, George Lucas. Something happened to his
Oh.
taste in his movies.
he has
I don't
this
know.
weird thing for animals. Like these CG animals, like even in like
Yeah.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever. Like the gophers, the little prairie dogs in that movie that were just constantly like looking at Han or not Han and Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like just constantly they're like double takes and I'm like, what? He has this weird fascination with these little animal creature things. I don't understand.
Strange. Very. You know, I was just thinking about though with Return of the Jedi recently. I need to see if my mom has any pictures of like my bedroom as a kid. Maybe a picture of me in my room. I had Return of the Jedi drapes and bedspread and sheets. My whole room was Return of the Jedi. It was awesome in the 80s.
Most of mine was like Ninja Turtles. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I was in junior high at that point. Next up, in a little TV news here, Community has in fact been canceled by NBC, to which Jacob replied, to which here's Jacob's reply. Ready?
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Even more so than I love that movie. I haven't seen it in so long. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you don't know what that came from, why? Why? Like it was looking so good. That was the key right there. Is it's been looking bad for years, and it was finally looking good, and then nope, yank the. First off, why NBC? You're losing Parks and Rec next year.
Yep.
The 7th season of Parks and Rec will be its last, and then you have no proven comedies. None. You went from being like the #1 comedy network, in my opinion, like How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory notwithstanding. Like you had the best comedy lineup. Thursday nights, Office, 30 Rock, Parks and Rec, Community. It was the best, it was perfect comedy lineup ever. And then you went and filled like those blank spots with like The Whitney Show.
Right.
And ugh.
I mean, Thursdays on NBC, going back to Seinfeld, I mean, that was a big day, you know?
Yeah, and I know you got to get new stuff in there, but like don't start completely fresh. You know?
No, yeah, they're wiping the slate here. The Office is gone. Parks and Rec
Think
will
about
be
how
gone.
much goodwill you would have got if you would have. All you needed was one more season. One more. If you would have given, because the magical hashtag 6 seasons in a movie, if you would have gave them one more season and then maybe just did an hour-long, season finale and called it a quote-unquote movie,
Yeah.
You no one would have ever talked bad about you for a long time because you gave us that. Like, it wouldn't be like the way that we talk about Fox, canceling Firefly and Sarah Connor Chronicles and Dollhouse, and a lot of people like that and got canceled in its prime. They gave us a proper ending to Fringe, but I think that was too little too late. But yeah, I'm so sad.
Well, they say in this article, Sony, who produces the show, could try shopping it for one more season to another network.
Netflix has said no, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Hulu, Comedy Central, Amazon, Crackle, which Sony owns, are all kind of there. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, but even that's not looking good this past week.
It's one of those shows that has always been funny. It's just you watch an episode and it's really good, but it's a show that never has gotten really high ratings.
Right.
So I guess they're saying to community, well, we have all these comedies in the pipeline. We need to move on. Apparently, it's just a money game.
So sad.
So sad.
I can't. I can barely talk about it. Dude, my whole brain is crying.
Oh no. That's your show right there.
That is my show, and it's gone.
It is gone.
Gone.
And finally here, one more bit of TV news that I threw in here because I'm a big Dave Grohl fan, and if you have not seen the movie Sound City,
awesome.
Awesome documentary where Dave Grohl talks about, Sound City recording studio and the equipment that he uses now that he's got from there. Great music, great documentary. Well, now Dave Grohl will host, direct, and produce a new documentary series for HBO that will have him visiting a number of legendary recording studios across the U.S., and he calls it a love letter to the history of American music. And for me, someone who geeks out over Dave Grohl, his music, 90s music, just recording studios in general. I've been to Nashville. I've been to Sun Records. I just love that sort of thing. I'm really looking forward to Dave Grohl's new show coming up on HBO, so I wanted to throw that in there also.
I haven't been to either of those places. I would really love to be there, but you know where I've been?
Where?
Abbey Road, baby. I
Ooh,
made the
that's
trek
impressive.
out there, and there's really nothing out there. But I literally I got on multiple buses in the tube and walked another 20 some minutes just to get out to Abbey Road, which is not anywhere near the middle of London at all.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to go with me, and I went anyway because I had to be there. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's one of those things you just have to see.
Yeah. It's totally just a little house in a little neighborhood. It's kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
That is funny. All right, that is our picture show news. Now we're going to talk a little bit of technology with Technobabble. All right, technology time. It's Technobabble, and first up to bat, we have Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and other services will be open to all on the Xbox One and Xbox 360 in a move that bucks the standard that has been set by Microsoft back in 2005. Both Xbox One and Xbox 360 will drop the requirement for the Xbox Live paid membership so that you can get the services like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube's, and all those things. Microsoft announced that its prices and structure are being streamlined and that they're coming in line with those offerings by Sony. So with the new generation of Xbox Live, when it rolls out in early June, we'll have cheaper hardware and you will not need Xbox Live Gold to access these apps to stream media.
That is super cool news. Like, Microsoft is starting to do things right.
Yeah.
And I got to say that new leadership there seems to be really, between the new CEO and the new head of the Microsoft or the Xbox division, seems to be doing things right.
Well,
So Sony, and I'm glad for that, because I think it's going to put more pressure on Sony to step their game up too.
Right, exactly. But even taking them out of the equation, right, it just seems kind of in this, I mean, okay, this was a standard that they set in 2005. Okay, we're in 2014 now. It seems ridiculous to have to pay to use Netflix and Hulu and YouTube when you can have a smart TV now that has all those things for free. So why would anybody bother to even use Xbox Live if they had to pay for it?
Right.
So
It's exclusively for those things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. So it's a nice move by them. Unless they had it to try and encourage people to pay the money before, and they weren't seeing an increase in sales, so it wasn't doing anything for them. All right, Apple news. Apple's iPad will reportedly add split screen multitasking in iOS 8. They may finally have true multitasking on the iPad. There's a report here from Mark Gurman of 9to5Mac, who reports that with iOS 8, users will be able to run two apps simultaneously on their tablet screen, and iOS has typically only allowed one app to be displayed on the screen at any given time, but competitors like Samsung and Microsoft have latched onto this restriction and repeatedly bashed the company for adhering to the rule for so long, particularly with 9.7 inches of screen real estate offered by the iPad. Sworn rival Samsung has particularly been vicious with its marketing campaigns. So now Apple says, well, we typically favor simplicity over flexibility, but it looks like now we may offer two apps simultaneously in iOS 8.
That's really cool news, although I don't know a whole lot of people like who have like the Samsung phones and whatnot who actually do use the split screen multitasking. Like, you're like, it's there, but I never use it.
Right. I mean, that's one of those things. I can't think of, are there really that many instances where you need to have two apps open at the same time?
Right. I mean, when I write, and I do a good bit of writing on my iPad, but when I'm writing on my iPad, one of the benefits I feel for it is the lack of split screening.
Really?
Because it helps me focus on one thing at a time, whereas like on my laptop or on my desktop, I have like multiple things going on my screen at any given point in time to where it gets distracting. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like the restrictive nature of that, and that's kind of why I use it sometimes, is so that it can focus me down into one thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to, more features is more features. I dig it, but I don't think and that's why, Apple's still doing as well as they are. If this was such a critical issue for the tablet marketplace, right, and the cell phone marketplace, then why is the iPhone and the iPad still like the number one selling in both those domains? Right.
Exactly. I mean, I see that the competitors, it's something for them to bash Apple on, but come on.
Right.
I don't know that it's a deal breaker.
The near field contact NFC stuff, like the tapping to share stuff and the tapping to automatically Bluetooth pair. Like, yeah, it's cool for a commercial, right? But unless you have an NFC device,
right, it
doesn't matter, right? It doesn't work. Like, so.
And how often do people who have it actually use it? I would love to know.
Right.
I would love to know that.
Right.
All right, so now we're going to get to a little net neutrality news. This recently just coming out today that the FCC has voted in favor of a widely criticized net neutrality rules, which is just getting blasted across the internet.
So, this all seems horrible.
Thank you, Dr. Banner. Now, basically what the voting that they are wanting to put forward here, it was a 3-2 vote, I believe, in favor of the net neutrality rules that they're putting out, which they're trying to say, but we're in favor of net neutrality and we're trying to keep the internet open. However, the plan includes an internet fast lane, which, again, if you want to use premium services and things, you're going to have to pay more, and it's still going to keep the customer at the mercy of the big corporations and how they decide to control their internet. So these proposed net neutrality rules are not in place, but the FCC wants to hear from people. They want to know what do people actually think about this. And as of today, the things I've been seeing is that, as they should, the internet is kind of ablaze with people saying, no, we don't want this. We don't want you to create a fast lane so that, a company like Cox Cable, for example, can keep throttling you and telling you, well, you're going to have to pay us $50 more a month because of your usage. Sorry.
Right. So people keep fighting the good fight. I know it's not looking fantastic right now, but people keep fighting the good fight to, get this stuff like at least halted and slowed down.
Right. So we're so they're doing it to us now, and it's just going to keep going on if we can't continue to fight this. So if you would like to speak up, they do want to hear opinions from people. So I just want to throw this out there. If you go to fcc.gov/comments, you'll find this proceeding with the title "Protecting and Promoting the Open Internet." So that should be up there. And then you can click on the proceeding number 1428. And there's a link on Gizmodo to do this also. They're really big on promoting people talking out against this. So fill out the form, express your feelings. We want a true open internet. We don't want any kind of slow lanes and fast lanes and throttlings. We really want, to keep it what it is, free and open. I mean, not free, we're paying for it, but we're not restricted by our usage and that sort of thing. It's just, it goes against everything the internet was created for, that it stands for. So let's speak out against this.
Right.
All right. That is Technobabble. Now we are going to see what goodies lurk inside of the loot bag.
It's loot bag time. Come on, grab your friends and we'll snag the latest nerdy trends. So grab your pogs and fight some mutants. Fun will never end. It's loot bag time.
Yes, it is loot bag time once again.
All right. Inside this week's loot bag, we have another website which has some super cool t-shirts on here called Shirtwoot. And I found this based on a post that I saw on Facebook of a picture of, I believe it was called Reading Rambo. And it was Geordie LaForge with like ripped off Rambo sleeves, holding like two giant guns and like with the Reading Rainbow logo and everything. Hilarious mashup t-shirt. So like anyone who's listening to the show knows that I love mashup t-shirts and I like telling you where to get cool, unique ones. And this Shirtwoot here at shirt.woot.com has super, super funny ones. One of my favorite shirts that I found on this site actually has one. It's like, by the power of 3 we combine or something like that. And there's like a little baby chicken, a little baby cow, and a little baby pig, like all pointing towards like their powers towards a hot dog and the creation of a hot dog. It's hilarious. I find it so funny. So if you like cool mashup shirts and cool things like that, it seems to have a lot of 80s themed things here. Also, the site actually has like cheap technology too, some like cool technology grabs on the other part of woot.com. So go check it out, shirt.woot.com. It's a really cool site for all of you, some more, at least not all, but some of your cool geeky shirt needs. So one of those new cool places to add for when you want to buy a new cool shirt.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never realized that there was a Shirtwoot. I mean, back in the day, like, probably, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago now, I had first heard about Woot.com and I would get the alerts like, get the Woot deal of the day, and every day for X amount of hours, there would be something on sale. And then I kind of fell off and stopped following it. And now apparently they have a ton of different Woots, and the shirt ones are really cool. there are some really interesting things here. And I love that there's a lot of Star Wars. There's Back to the Future. There's Ninja Turtles. We've got one here with Darth Vader over a stove making fried eggs, wearing an apron that says "World's Greatest Dad." I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there's some really good shirts on this site.
If I were a dad, I would totally buy that shirt like right now. All right, so that's Loot Bag, and with Loot Bag comes the end of another Mach 5 Geek News podcast and the end of another week in Geek News. Next week, we will recap more of the headlines and the things that stuck out to us that we want to talk about and the things that you want to talk about by flipping on our Flipboard that you can do by being Listener of the Week. And all you have to do that is just interact with us, like us, share something, leave a review, say, hey guys, what's up? And there you go. You are entered to be a Listener of the Week. And again, we totally love the interaction with you guys and really, really look forward to it. So, we will talk to you next week. We've got more geek news every week that we look forward to discussing with you guys. So stay tuned for that and take care.
Peace out.
This has been a Mach 5 Network production. Be sure to subscribe to our shows on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Mach 5 Network. Follow us on Twitter at Mach 5 Network and email us at mach5network@gmail.com. Until next week, I'm your announcer, Crown Jules, logging off.